Right now at 6 o'clock, a man shot during a Choctaw High School football game files a federal lawsuit 2 years later. I'm Lacey Lowry. Coming up, the argument his attorney is now making.
And the family of a 16-year-old girl is asking for accountability after she was run over and dragged in Oklahoma City. I'm Colby Thielen. Hear the family's message for the alleged driver ahead.
And good morning, I'm Robin Marsh. Another round of rain is here just in time for the Tuesday morning commute. How long the cool weather will stick around? What about the rain? We'll ask Lacey Swope with her forecast. It's coming up.
Live from downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now.
Well, a messy start to our Tuesday morning as we say good morning, Oklahoma. Thanks for choosing News 9. We already have our news trackers out and about. Lacey, they're watching the roads for us.
We've had some crashes this morning. Those things are starting to clear up now, but the big story, the roads are wet. Just give yourself some time this morning.
And those crashes on major thoroughfares, I-35, Lake Hefner Parkway.
There's the one right there on Lake Hefner Parkway, the lower left of your screen.
Exactly. Caused a big backup, hopefully clearing out just a little bit this morning, but not the way you want to start your Tuesday. Here's where we are now at 6 a.m. Let's turn to Lacey Swope. I think a lot of that was from standing water, possibly. We don't know the causes of those crashes, but it's likely.
Well, hydroplaning is always a big concern, too, whenever it's raining. So the rain is a good thing. We need the rain. Folks enjoying it, that's for sure. But when you have to get out in it, you have to get your errands run, get to work, get the kiddos to school, it can be a mess. Brandon Pennell is out. Good morning, Brandon. You've been heading kind of the northwest sides of the Oklahoma City area. Windshield wipers in full force. Give us an update.
Yeah, Lacey, good morning to you, too. So one thing I've noticed since we talked about 15 or 20 minutes ago is there is quite a bit of ponding in areas, especially where the rain was heavier at times. So I've seen quite a few fender benders to where they've been hydroplaned and either thrown into the center wall or over into the ditch. I've probably seen 3 or 4. And then there's a pretty big flooded area on 235 where it merges to Roadway Extension at Northeast 50th, and then the I-44 west exit. The whole entire area is about 12 inches deep. Back to you.
Okay, so some areas, that's an area that is prone there by the Broadway extension to actually get that standing water. So you've got to be careful. We're not seeing any areas of major flooding, but there might be some areas that make it a little bit tough. If you see water over the roadway, just find an alternate route. Thank you, Brandon. We'll check in back with you in just a moment. Temps have been in the mid-60s since yesterday morning, and we are still in the lower and mid-60s. Rain on Next Gen coming down basically from just south of Guthrie all the way down to Texas, all across Oklahoma City. That lets up, and at times it's moderate. In fact, over the last, 10, 15 minutes, we've seen a lot of the reds on radar go away. A lot of that heavier rain is starting to dissipate. It's light to moderate in spots. Winds are fairly light, so this is kind of a tranquil rain coming down, but it does make for a messy morning drive. 100% chance of rain continuing, and the temperature at Will Rogers is currently 65. I know you guys have more at the news desk. Back to you.
That's right. Megan Gold is watching the roads for us. She's been so busy. Megan, what's the latest for the commute this morning?
So we do still have that active crash at I-44 and Lake Hefner Parkway. Our Lex Stanfield just arriving on the scene. It's been causing quite a bit of a backup in the southbound lanes, again, of Lake Hefner Parkway. The backup has kind of started to disperse some, but it's still an active scene there. We hope everybody is okay. I do want to take you to the map. I've got several other views for you across the metro. I know we've got so many of you that commute into Oklahoma City from all different directions. Here's headed in from the north side from our American Fidelity Cam. It's busy. Northwest Expressway and Lake Hefner Parkway there. And then again, a little farther to the south, there's a view from the ODOT camera of that crash. You can get by if you're traveling southbound Lake Hefner Parkway, but it will be slow going in that spot. So there's where that crash is. Outside of that spot, we're really doing okay, but you've got to allow extra time out the door this morning, extra space between you and the car in front of you, and really just reduce your speed. You will be okay if you do have to get going here on your Tuesday morning. Just be extra careful, guys. Back over to you.
All right, Megan, thanks so much. A man who was shot and injured at a Choctaw High School football game has filed a federal lawsuit against Del City Police and the Choctaw School District.
This was big breaking news 2 years ago. A 16-year-old boy lost his life at that game. News 9's Kylie Dedman live this morning explaining details in this new lawsuit. Kylie?
Robin, Lacey, Demetrius Carter claims he was unarmed and trying to break up a fight when he was shot by a Del City police officer. He's now suing, saying he wants to see changes made to security policies. The lawsuit names both Choctaw-Nakoma Park Schools and Del City Police. The suit outlines allegations of unnecessary use of force, unsafe and negligent security policies, and an alleged history of racial discrimination from one of the officers. The body camera footage the officers were wearing that night has been sealed. Carter's attorney, Billy Clark, says if this case goes to a jury trial as requested, that footage would have to be entered as evidence.
It's been 2 years. 2 years. There's no arrest. The DA is not giving us anything. They're bouncing us back and forth. The police chief for Dale City is not giving us anything. Where do we go? The only thing we can do is file this federal lawsuit.
The police officer has a right to review it. I, as his agent/attorney, have a right to view it with him.
And that was attorney Gary James, who is representing Dell City Officer Sean Hogue. Now, we have made several requests for a copy of the body-worn camera footage since the shooting. And as for the criminal case, the Oklahoma County DA had filed charges against a 15-year-old in the deadly shooting, but those were dismissed. Reporting live in the newsroom, Kylie Dudman, Oklahoma's own News 9.
Kylie, thank you. The OSBI says this is still an active case as they look into the death of 16-year-old Corday Carter and another girl who was hit by gunfire at that football game.
A woman is dead after a two-car crash in southeast Oklahoma City. This was the scene right near Southeast 119th and Peebly Road about 8 last night. Oklahoma City police say the female victim was the only person in her car when it crashed with the other vehicle. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol says 15 people have been killed in crashes just over the weekend. Troopers say 5 of those victims were children, including a 12-year-old Dover student who died in a UTV crash on Saturday, and also an 18-year-old from Norman killed in the metro on a motorcycle crash. There was also an Elk City High School student that was killed. Troopers want to remind drivers to please be safe, put down distractions. Lives depend on it when you're behind the wheel.
The family of a 16-year-old girl who was run over and dragged by a truck earlier this month is now asking for accountability from the driver. Princess Landa spent 8 days in critical condition with a fractured skull, broken ribs, and a fractured arm. She also lost her ear. Now the suspect, 18-year-old Jaime Lopez, told police that he thought he hit a tree.
I hope he can take accountability, take responsibility of what he did to her. I can't pay any attention to him. All my focus has to go to Princess.
Lopez was arrested on complaints of leaving the scene of an injury accident. As of now, he has not been formally charged.
A potential agreement to move some Oklahoma City inmates to Cleveland County will be up for a vote today. Oklahoma City wants to transfer people arrested on municipal charges from parts of the city that are actually in Cleveland County. Well, under the 6-month plan, Oklahoma City would pay Cleveland County $68 a day per inmate. City councilors in Oklahoma City will vote on that at 8:30 this morning.
And this morning, we continue remembering the life of beloved Enid Public Safety Officer J.W. Bodie. The 72-year-old man was killed last week by an armed suspect while he was working security at Integris Health. The town of Enid packed the Emmanuel Enid Church yesterday, saying goodbye. Here's remarks from his daughter.
While I hate that he is gone, I know that he wouldn't hesitate to knowingly do it all over again. I know when he got to heaven that he heard Jesus say, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." But we need to work on your potty mouth.
He even had a little laugh there. JW was loved by so many in the Enid community. He's survived by his 3 children and his 4 grandchildren who he loved so dearly.
In Norman, OU's chief of police is retiring after 46 years in law enforcement. Chief Nate Tarver made history in 1979 as Moore's first black police officer. He retired as captain in Oklahoma City in 2015. All of that before joining OU. We talked with him back in 2021 about his journey as a trailblazer.
I wanted to attain as much rank and be a person that could make some changes as I saw them as a young officer or as a young black man in society. The only way I saw to affect change is to be part of the solution.
Cleveland County honored Chief Tarver with a plaque Friday to recognize his decades of service His last day, September 19th. We loved those old photos, didn't we?
Man, I've always enjoyed interviewing him, talking to him, but that 1979 photo right there, he was so stylish too. That was a great pic.
He is the kindest man. Anytime we asked for an interview, he was always very gracious to do so. Well done, good and faithful servant. We appreciate you, Nate Tarver.
All right, let's go over to the Bob Mills Weather Center. Lace, we're talking more rain this morning.
It is soggy. It is a wet commute across all of the Oklahoma City metro, all of western, southern Oklahoma, dry to the north, and because of that, temperatures are in the 60s. We have some low 50s out the door. We'll talk about it. This fall feel, it's here. We'll talk about rain opportunities through the day when this rain ends. Brandon Pendle's out on the roadways for you. We'll get a check with our storm trackers. Several more waves of rain ahead. We are not done after today, and the next 9 days we're below average. We'll break that all down for you in full weather.
All right, coming up, President Donald Trump fires the head of the Federal Reserve overnight, and a new Southwest Airlines policy could force plus-size travelers to pay more to fly. Your top national stories are next.
Welcome back. Our news trackers are out and about this morning as the rain's coming down. It's already caused some big problems on major roadways, including on the right side of your screen here. That's Lake Hefner Parkway, the southbound lanes, right at I-44 where there's a crash that's really slowed things down. Over on the left-hand side, that's Portland and Northwest 10th. So we're going to be checking with Megan Gold here in just a little bit to see how this is affecting your morning commute. But a wet start has caused some problems on the roadways this morning.
Yeah, our tracker said watch your speed and the safe distance between you and the guy in front of you.
Oh, and send the babies with an umbrella to the bus stop this
morning. If they're
morning.
waiting at the bus stop, it is definitely wet. Now, there is no lightning this morning, so that's a good thing. And there's not a whole lot of wind, but it is wet for sure. And there's some ponding in some areas. As the kiddos are coming home, it'll be mostly dry. So it's not like yesterday. Yesterday it rained all day.
Seemed like the yard just greened up so fast too.
Isn't it crazy?
Nice.
Some of the trees were already starting to turn a little bit brown. It doesn't take much for that to happen. This is going to help significantly. We might end up with too much water in a short period of time. So we're watching for areas of flooding. So far, no major issues as far as that goes. But for the kiddos heading out this morning, it's in the 60s. They need the jacket this morning. They will need the jacket through midday. This afternoon, 70 degrees. We might get a couple breaks in the clouds, but I think we hold on to cloud cover in central Oklahoma and a light northeast wind. Notice rain chances at 100% this morning, only 20% by the time school lets out on your Tuesday. And then more rain tonight, more rain Thursday. We are not done. We told you this was a pattern shift for sure. Because of the rain we've already received, we have a flood watch out for the counties in blue, includes all of the Oklahoma City metro. We're watching for the potential for some flooding from Norman back down to basically Purcell. Not hearing of any big problems, but just in the last 6 hours, we've picked up a few tenths of an inch of rain to close to an inch just north of downtown, over an inch and a half from Okarche back down to, Cedar Lake and the Cherokee Trading Post there in Canadian County. And then down in Cleveland County, a half of an inch to maybe 3/4 of an inch. Not much. Once you get north of Edmond, it's been very light, but over the past 2 days, really including yesterday, 2 to 3 inches of rain across central Oklahoma. You get further to the north and the northwest. You had that big supercell that came through on Sunday, and now we've had 4 to 6 inches locally. Now we've had some rain to the south, rain to the north, nothing compared to what we've seen across central Oklahoma, and it's raining over those same areas this morning. So that's a live look on NextGen. The rain from Woodward to Tologa to Clinton to Fay to Kingfisher through Guthrie back down to Oklahoma City. It's let up in intensity in about the last hour or so, but still some moderate rain. Where you see the green, it's light. And Brandon Pendle, he's been out for you this morning. He's on the roadways giving you updates for your drive. Let's go out to Brandon. Let me show you his shot right now. Brandon, the rain is pretty steady, not really torrential, but what have you noticed as you're heading out on this Tuesday morning? Good morning.
Yeah, Lacey, that's right. You know, it's kind of sporadic and hit and miss. So like you were saying, with all the rain that we've had the last couple of days, everything's pretty saturated. So wherever the heavier bands come through, it doesn't take much, and you start to get ponding on the roadways, and some of the ditches are kind of coming out onto the road. You can definitely get around. It's more like, a typical fall morning, low cloud decks, visibility's kind of low. speed and space is a big deal this morning as you get out and head to work. Back to you.
Okay, great advice. Make sure you have no distractions. Put the cell phone down this morning because that's what will greet you on the roads. Let me show you kind of the view across the region. Our Lucky Star Sky Cam network, our news trackers are out and all across the metro. It is wet this morning. That cloud deck is low. Let me show you a broader view on radar. Show you for folks off to the east from Prague to Henrietta, south. Rain going on, getting very spotty in far southern Oklahoma and in the southwest. And if you're heading up the Turner Turnpike, once you get past Wellston, it's dry up towards Tulsa. And that's where some of our coolest temperatures are. We've got showers from Woodward to Fairview to O'Keene, back down to Leedy. So highest rain chances in the swath from Woodward basically back down to Ada. And the temperatures are in the 60s still. We've been here since about 7 a.m. yesterday. Now there are 50s across northern Oklahoma. That is jacket weather. 56 in Ponca. We dipped down to 54 in Nowata. That is chilly. We've got a northeast wind. It's 5 to 15, some gusts to 20. It is blowing the rain around a little bit, but it's not bad. We're talking lower 60s to mid 60s, and we'll try to nudge up to 70 later this afternoon. Kind of pick out your hometown. Staying in the 60s in the west, mid upper 70s in the northeast and the south. And as far as rain chances this afternoon, a 20% chance in OKC, slightly higher chance to the south. Here's kind of what we're expecting as we go through the day. All the rain that you see starts to kind of shrivel up and end. By noon, we may still have a little light rain, but it becomes very spotty into the afternoon. Highest rain chance will be south of I-40. That dwindles down and ends, and we're dry for several hours overnight, and then it blossoms again tomorrow morning. Similar locations to where we have the rain this morning. Then it makes its way off to the northeast, and guys, we might have another round as we head into your Thursday. So we are not done. 78 tomorrow, because in the afternoon for your Wednesday, it's mostly dry. 90% chance of rain Thursday, 81. 70s for Labor Day weekend, and it looks dry Labor Day with a high of only 79. The last time temps were this cool, guys, was back in 1997. Back to you.
Setting records. Lacey, thank you. Your time now, 6:19. President Trump fires Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook after a presidential appointee claimed that Cook committed mortgage fraud. Cook responded last night saying she will not step down. She says no cause exists under the law, and President Trump has no authority to do so. The move could signal a push from the president to exert more control over the traditionally independent financial body.
The Associated Press and Reuters demand answers from Israeli authorities after 5 journalists are killed in a missile strike in Gaza. In a joint letter, the news agencies say they are, quote, outraged by the incident. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called the strike a tragic mishap.
And attention flyers, a new Southwest airline policy will require those who do not fit within the armrest to pay for an extra seat in advance. Currently, plus-size passengers on Southwest can pay for an extra seat with the option of getting the money back, but the new policy does not guarantee any refund.
6:20 your time right now. Let's check in on the roadways. Megan Gold's watching the commute for us this morning. Already been quite a messy start, Megan.
It has, and it happens every time on these rainy morning drives. On your Tuesday, another wave of rain, as Lacey's been talking about. We've got our Lex Stanfield at I-44 and Lake Hefner Parkway. He's looking at a crash in the southbound lanes. Notice it is not blocked. You can get by, but it is slow going in that spot, and I'll show it to you on a map. I've got several other views for you to show you how your morning drive will look if you're headed out the door from our American Fidelity camera. If you're coming in from the North Metro southbound, it's busy. It looks like folks are kind of heeding the warning of the wet roads and going slow. I-35 at South 89th on the south side. Looking up to the north, no crashes in I-35 in the northbound lanes. Again, just that I-44 at Lake Hefner Parkway crash there in the southbound lanes. That will slow you down some. Really across the metro as of right now, we're doing okay, but please allow extra time out the door. Not the type of morning you want to be in any rush, guys. Back to you.
Megan, thanks so much. All right, what if there were careers that would pay you to learn, help you find jobs, and enable you to travel and give you a pension? Catch our Building Your Future tomorrow at 6:30 right here on News 9. We're back after this. All
All right, it's time for the outdoor forecast.
All right, we got some rain outdoors right now, but if you're going to be outside, Lacey, how are we doing?
Okay, it feels like hunting season. Yeah. That's what it feels like. So typically hunting season full swing starting in October. This feels kind of like muzzleloader season weather by the time you get to the end of October. We've got 50s, we've got 60s out the door, some low 50s in northern Oklahoma. There are 40s going on across the Midwest in many areas. It is chilly. We have rain that we've been tracking all morning, running from Woodward, basically just south of Cato to Kingfisher to Guthrie, all across Oklahoma City, down to Wewoka and Ada, tracking to the southeast. Brandon Pennell is out right now. Let me show you his shot. This is what you're going to experience on the roadways. We have had numerous small fender benders, a few accidents on interstates. Megan will have your full traffic update coming up. As you go through the day, the rain is here now, but it starts to dwindle down and taper off. Let me show you the forecast. Rain chances at 100%, down to 40% by noon, and then down to 20% into the afternoon. Not a washout of a day, it is a washout of a morning. We'll talk about what to expect in the latest on Next Gen Live coming up.
Kind of concerned about it, not too happy, and like I say, we're trying to find out what happened.
A stolen gun, a house fire, and an arrest now has officials demanding answers. What we know so far about the man accused of targeting a McLean County deputy and the charges he now faces.
And we'll take another look at our news trackers out on the roads this morning. The rain is coming down. How it's affecting your morning commute, that's next on News 9.
You're watching Oklahoma's own News 9 this morning.
Good morning, Oklahoma. 6:30 on a Tuesday, and whoa, it's raining out there. There's a live look on the Lucky Star Skycam network. That is showing Blanchard, but we need someone to go wipe the camera so you can actually see through the lens. A lot of rain. Blanchard, good morning to you, and that's really the big story across the metro. More rain this morning.
Man, we've had a good soaking. It really hasn't stopped over the last 24 hours, it feels like.
It was coming down when I picked the kids up from school yesterday, and you've never heard so many complaints. It's like, my socks are wet. It's, and then one of them even said, if it's raining like this, I'm not going to school tomorrow.
Oh, really? Okay.
Bad news for you, buddy. Yeah. It's raining like this and you're going to school.
Lacey's here eyeing the bus stop for us this morning. Good morning, Lacey.
Good morning, guys. My kiddos went out yesterday once the rain ended because we got that break into the evening hours and they were jumping in all the puddles. It's an exciting time for sure, but then of course, then it's bath time. They're soaked from head to toe. This morning, it is wet. It is soggy. Storm trackers are out. Brandon Pennell's on the roadways for you. You can see traffic picking up as we get close to rush hour, socked in with the cloud cover, and it's raining, about moderate rain. It's picking up, coming back into Oklahoma City. Because of the clouds and the rain yesterday, it was soggy almost all day. Let me show you the temperatures over the past 24 hours. We dropped down to the mid-60s, and we have just stayed there for so long. The last time temperatures were this cool in August, when I was looking at some of the records and the data, was 1997, and then before that, it was 1993. It has been a long time since it has been this cool for this extended period of time. It is not normal. We are very abnormal. We already know that. We're starting off with flood watch in effect. A few flood advisories going on down near Moore and Norman because we have picked up 1 to 2 inches. Some areas have seen over 4 inches, and the rain is not torrential this morning. There's no lightning, but it's steady enough. It's caused some ponding on the roads. There's definitely spray coming up from the vehicles in front of you, and there's the heavier rain coming back in from the west that's going to spread across Oklahoma City. It's very light up near Edmond and just south of Guthrie. Showers go all the way down to Falls Creek, back to Cromwell, and all across the northwest, southwestern Oklahoma dry. And it is dry and clear up to the north where temperatures are in the low 50s. We are currently in the 60s. It is 64 degrees at Will Rogers World Airport, and this afternoon, 60s and 70s for highs. How long does the fall feel stick around? What about the numerous rounds of rain headed our way? I'll have all the details in just a minute.
Headlines right now at 6:33. A 17-year-old boy is arrested, accused of shooting and killing another teen over the weekend. Oklahoma City police were called to the scene here at Northeast 23rd and Lottie. This was Saturday. Police tell us the suspect shot and killed the victim, Cheyenne Crawford, before running off. The suspect was later found and arrested on a murder complaint. The McLean County Sheriff's Office is searching for answers this morning after a deputy's home was set on fire while the family was inside the home sleeping.
Investigators arrested a suspect who they say is connected with a number of recent burglaries. Here's Sylvia Corkill with the story.
According According to federal court filings Friday, August 22nd, a McLean County deputy reported his gun had been stolen from his personal vehicle that was parked in front of his home in Washington. Searching the area using a drone, Austin Reeves was found hiding under a neighbor's pool deck and arrested. Booked into jail, Reeves, a convicted felon and member of the Cherokee Nation, was turned over to the Chickasaw Light Horse Police. And after their prosecutor's office declined to file charges, Reeves was released from jail.
Not too happy, and like I say, we're trying to find out what happened.
Less than 24 hours later, Saturday, investigators say Reeves returned to the deputy's home with a gas can. Surveillance cameras capture someone running from the home on fire after the fumes around him ignited.
He called in to dispatch that his pickup had exploded and that somebody had tried to bomb his house.
Reeves was arrested hours after a brief standoff at his Norman home that was surrounded by multiple agencies. Investigators say he appeared to have suffered a large burn to his stomach. The sheriff says he should have never been allowed out of jail and says his department won't stop pushing for answers.
I got a call from the Commissioner of Public Safety for Light Horse over the weekend, and first of all, he apologized. And I told him I greatly appreciated the apology, and that he told me that they were going to have a meeting with their team and they were going to get to the bottom of it.
Sylvia Corgill, Oklahoma's Own News 9.
We reached out to the Tribal Justice Administration to ask why they declined charges following Reeves' initial arrest. So far, we're still waiting to hear back. Reeves is now facing federal charges of arson, third-degree burglary, and possessing a firearm as a felon.
Several Okemah residents are frustrated over firings at the city's police department. Earlier this month, the Okemah city manager fired 3 police officers, and then 2 other officers resigned. It all happened after this altercation one of the officers had with the city code enforcer. The code enforcer is the city manager's sister. Well, last night, residents went to the big meeting in town asking the city council to bring the officers back.
We want accountability. We want justice. We want our law enforcement officers reinstated. We would absolutely love the resignation of the code enforcer and the city manager.
Officials have not announced plans on how they are going to rebuild the Okemah police force. The city council did approve an agreement with the Attorney General's office to use state agents to police the city in the future.
It is 6:36 on our wet Tuesday morning. You have to watch the roads out there. We have some snags already. Megan is watching things for us. Good morning, Megan.
Hey, good morning. It is a wet morning drive for those of you just now joining us. We've had several crashes already this morning on our major area highways. And right now, the biggest issue is going to be in the westbound lanes of I-40 at Reno. So it's actually not headed into the metro in the eastbound lanes, in the westbound lanes. But we are working to get our crew on the scene there, I-40 westbound at Reno, as there is an accident there, and it will slow you down here on your Tuesday morning. I've got a couple other views for you. Broadway extension to 235. That looks okay. Same deal, I-35 at North 27th Street, but extra time out the door, extra room between you and the car in front of you, and really avoid that cruise control if at all possible. Have an update on that crash in I-40 in the westbound lanes here in just a minute for you guys. Back to you.
Oklahoma City Police will host a free town hall this week to talk to parents about protecting their children online. It is this Wednesday at 6 p.m. out at Western Heights School inside the auditorium there. That's at Southwest 44th and Council. Police say it's open for parents, caregivers. Registration is required by calling the number on your screen, 534-4040. They do say space is limited.
Oklahoma is launching a new program to pay for free child care for parents who work at daycares. Lawmakers passed a bill this year that will fund this 3-year pilot program to help fill the shortage of early childhood educators. The ultimate goal of the Strong Start program is to keep people in the industry.
This is common sense. An investment in our early childhood workforce is an investment in the future of Oklahoma.
We have a link. We have a link to apply for the program at news9.com.
All right, 6:38 your time right now, and as we talk about the weather, it's been a rainy start to the day. We were expecting it. It's caused some problems on the roadways as well. Megan was just talking about I-40. We know the exit there at Sunny Lane blocked right now.
Yeah, we'll continue watching the roads for you. We're watching things from the Bob Mills Weather Center. Lacey, how we doing?
Hey, we're tracking the showers. It's so nice not to talk about severe weather. We don't have damaging winds. There's no hail. We've got typically a lot of heat and instability in August, and usually we've got big time thunderstorms. That is not the case. It is a fall feel. We're in the low 60s. Rain, yes, widespread this morning, tapering off this afternoon. We'll talk about the timeline, get an update on Next Gen Live, checking with our storm trackers. Brandon Pennell, he's out for you. A live update is coming up.
Also coming up, a man shot by a Del City police officer during the chaos of a deadly shooting at a Choctaw football game is taking his case to federal court. The argument his attorney is making and the ongoing fight over body camera video.
Also ahead, a late night police chase ends with a driver spun out in southwest Oklahoma City. What we know about the suspect who is now in custody, it's ahead on 9.
Welcome back. Our news trackers are out on the roads this morning. The rain is coming down. It's a great soaking. It has caused a few issues on the roads. We've had a few crashes on the interstates. We are monitoring those. In fact, we'll check in with Megan Gold here in just a second. If you're about to head out the door, just be careful and leave yourself some extra time. It might take you a little longer to get where you're going.
Yeah, got to be extremely careful on the roads. We've had that rain kind of coming down and just kind of good soaking over the last, really, 12, 24 hours almost.
Yeah, almost 36 hours,
really?
Depending on where you are. It started raining in northwest Oklahoma Sunday night, and it's rained all through Monday. So it's just kind of been pretty steady. We got breaks here in the metro overnight. Now it's back, and it'll be back tomorrow morning, Thursday morning.
Crazy.
It's a wild pattern. It really is. All the cloud cover, the rain, keeping temperatures down. It was so stinking hot last week, even into the weekend. It was scorching hot. Take a look at the temperatures and the conditions that we were dealing with across the region. That's a 6 box right now on our Lucky Star Sky Cam network. You can see the rain coming down. Storm trackers are out. Roads are wet. We'll check in with Brandon in just a minute. I want to show you the temperatures right now, kind of showing you where we've been. In the mid-upper 90s. 1 week ago, it was 99 degrees in Oklahoma City. Now we're talking 70s, and this is kind of the forecast of where we're headed. A huge difference. It's like full-blown summer, full-blown fall, all within a 9-day stretch. So this fall-like pattern, it continues. We stay below average over the next 9 days, all the way through Labor Day with more rounds of rain. Now, in the short term, overnight, really in just the last 6 hours, we've had some heavy rain come through. 1/2 inch to 1 inch, some areas 1.5 inches. So across Canadian County, the North Metro, a trace to 1/10 inch, 1/2 inch to 1 inch from Norman to Blanchard to Slaughterville. So we're watching in the areas that are saturated, and you've picked up rain here in the last few hours, ponding possible, and maybe some localized flooding. Now, Brandon Pennell, he's been out for you all morning long, watching for any problem spots. Brandon, you have seen some standing water, but what do folks need to know as they head on a Tuesday morning? Good morning.
Yeah, Lacey, so right now we're on I-40 coming back eastbound. We've been kind of all over the metro. One thing I'll say is that most of the accidents that we've seen have been single-car accidents. There hasn't been a lot of multi-car, which leads me to believe it's a speed thing combined with ponding and hydroplaning. So I think you can get around pretty good today if you just take it slow, give yourself plenty of time and a little bit of space as you get into work. The rain's off and on, light to moderate. Back to you.
Great update there. I mean, we're not talking severe weather here this morning. This is wet roadways, which does cause problems with the morning drive. But yeah, you can absolutely get out, get to where you're going. Just allow a little extra time so you're not rushing around. How much rain has fallen since this began? 2 to 3 inches from Watonga to Weatherford to Sealing. The East Metro, about 1/2 inch to 1 inch. And then you get into northwest Oklahoma, 3 to 4 to 5 to locally 6 inches of rain when you look at the radar estimates. That's why the flood watch is out, and we're monitoring for any problem spots where you just get too much water in a short period of time. Overall, the rain this morning is the light to moderate variety. There's no lightning within this. It's not convective. It's what we call stratiform rain, which is very common in the fall, not common in the summertime, okay? We have showers going on, light to moderate from Shawnee to McLeod to Dale to Norman, all the way back to Hinton, over to Henrietta. You get south of Sulphur, it's pretty dry, and north of Guthrie, north of Stroud, it's dry, and the rain goes back to Woodward all the way back down to Sayre. So showers continue. It is muddy this morning. It is 64 degrees as you're starting off. Look at all the 50s across northern Oklahoma. Skies are clear in the far northeast, and it's in the low 50s. Miami, 54. That's wild. Winds are out of the northeast. They're about 5 to 15, and your temperatures today stay in the lower mid-60s for the next several hours. Rain starts to taper off by about lunchtime today. We're mostly dry and pretty dry into the afternoon with only a 20% chance of rain. But where we have the thick clouds and the rain, 60s and 70s for highs. To the north, 70s, maybe even a few 80s, 70s to a few 80s down to the south also. As far as your afternoon, completely different than yesterday. It'll look mostly dry. 20% chance of rain, 30 to 40% further to the south where a few more kind of scattered showers are possible. In fact, Future Next Gen has a pretty good handle on what's going on right now. So this is what radar could look like by 2, 3 o'clock. Yeah, drying out, but still some clouds lingering for sure. And then overnight, we're dry for several hours, and we do it again. Your Wednesday morning, more showers. Might have a few rumbles of thunder, thunderstorms, and pockets of heavy rain across the north through about lunchtime. And then Wednesday afternoon is looking dry. More rain Thursday. So tonight into your Wednesday, 50s and 60s, another 100% chance of rain. We'll watch for any areas of flooding. Here's your Wednesday, 70s, maybe some 80s returning for a while. South wind returns, but then by Thursday night or Wednesday night into Thursday, more rain makes its way in. So we could see another 1 to 2 inches of rain across a big chunk of Oklahoma before this is all said and done. More showers, more clouds into the weekend, guys. And so for Labor Day, we stay in the 70s. Back to you.
At least one person is in custody this morning after a pursuit in southwest Oklahoma City. It was a chase that started with Mustang police pursuing a driver about 2:30 this morning. Oklahoma City police then assisted, and the driver eventually spun out, I should say, near the suspect's car at Southwest 15th and Meridian. We are working to learn more about that suspect who was arrested. And one person is killed in a 3-car crash in Grady County. Troopers say a man was stopped on Highway 81 to try and reattach his trailer. Another driver was stopped behind him with hazard lights on when police say 74-year-old William Smith of Ninnekah came through and slammed into them from behind. Smith was pronounced dead at the scene. The other 2 drivers were injured.
2 years after a deadly shooting at a Choctaw high school football game, a federal civil rights lawsuit has been filed by a man that was shot but survived. Attorneys say 45-year-old Demetrius Carter says that Del City police violated his civil rights by shooting him in the chest during all the chaos. In April of 2024, a grand jury declined to bring criminal charges against the officer, stating that shooting was a necessary use of force. However, Carter's attorney believes that unreleased body camera video would change that.
Well, the only way we can find that out is by looking at the data, looking at the video, so that we can figure out what happened together as a community.
So far, Del City police have not commented on the lawsuit.
A Metro nonprofit offering services to survivors of domestic and sexual violence says it is growing faster than it can keep up with. Leaders at Bridge to Safety say as it becomes more widely known, it's seeing an increase in people needing help. The executive director tells us they get about 12 calls for help a day, and they need to raise $34,000 to stay operational through the end of this year.
If somebody out there wants to save a life, you can help us to do that. You can save a life. $50 gives one night of safety, $100 gives them safety in the necessities, $250 will give them 3 nights and a week, $700 for a week to save somebody's life.
You can find more information about this nonprofit at Bridge to Safety on news9.com.
6:50 your time right now, and it's been a messy morning commute. Let's get to meteorologist Megan Gold. She's been watching the roads for us. Megan, just about everywhere you look on major interstates this morning, we've had crashes.
We have, and we do have several slow-going spots right now. I'll take you to a couple of those. This is going to be I-35 in the southbound lanes. We've had some type of car that has been blocking the roadways, no longer blocking it, is now on the shoulder, but just several fender benders across the area this morning. Nothing super serious. We're grateful for that, but the roads are wet, and you've got to allow extra time out the door. I'll show you several other spots ongoing right now. I-40 and I-35 looking back off to the west. Folks trying to merge. As of right now, no word of any crashes, but it is slow going there, so it's possible. We'll wait to get information on that. Also coming in from the north on Broadway extension to 235. That is okay there as well. So there's the blockage over on kind of off of the highway, but again, it's a little bit slow going. We've also got a crash I-40 at Reno in the westbound lane, so not coming into Oklahoma City, but that is slow going as well. Again, extra time out the door, extra stopping distance. Your drive times in Oklahoma City, really from all directions, are several minutes slower than normal. Guys, back to you.
Megan, it is part of the big story this morning as we continue to watch the roads for you. On the right, that's out by Sunny Lane on I-40. On the left, that's over by I-35 and Northeast 23rd Street. Our news trackers are watching the roads for you. Back after this.
Let's get one more check of traffic here as you're heading out the door this morning. It's kind of a messy start to the morning. Over on the left on the Lucky Star Skycam network, looking at our Integris cam. Then here on the right, that's at I-40 and Sunny Lane. On I-40, you can tell a little bit of a slow going there. We've had crashes really all over the metro this morning, Megan, and it's doesn't look like it's getting any better.
No, it's not. Morning drive just picking up. Extra time out the door. Allow extra space between you and the car in front of you. Just not a good morning to be in a rush.
Yeah.
But we need the rain.
We do need the rain, and there's nothing severe, so that's good. But for folks on the roads, use caution. Showers continue to come down. Next Gen Live lit up. Nothing across northern and northeast Oklahoma. Rain in the metro continues for the next several hours. We'll see highs today only in the 60s and low 70s.
All right. Hey, thanks for sharing time with us today. We'll catch you back here right after 7.